Farrakhan. But this discourse for the last few minutes leads perfectly to the question I wanted to ask you. Again, we're putting everything on the table today in love and in truth. I have received significant pushback from certain people across this country who believe that the very nature of this conversation on C-SPAN is wrong. Is wrong. That this is not a conversation. Tavis, take that stuff to the back room. Y'all Negroes get together where the camera's not around. And those meetings do happen. And there's no doubt about that. He meets with a variety of people, and black leaders, you know, have their own meetings. But what about the notion that that coming together, having these kinds of conversations in the public square, in the public, on national television is wrong and not very good, not very wise strategically?
I think a wise man would listen to his or her critics. Sister Julianne Malveaux was a very strong critic of mine. And when I had the privilege to talk to my sister, I thanked her. Why do you thank somebody who criticizes you? Because your friends sometimes are not real good friends if they don't tell you the thing that you need to hear.
That's right.
So when my sister criticized me, I loved her more because I saw her as honest, as a strong black woman who was not going to let a strong black man get away with what she thought I might be getting away with. This is a wonderful dialogue. Here's my concern. You know, in the barber shop and in the beauty parlor, we say a lot of things. But when Ice Cube took the barber shop out of the barber shop into the public square, and then words were spoken about Dr. King and Rosa Parks and Reverend Jackson. See, I said to my brother, I said, brother, you have to remember that this is a movie that will live long after we are gone. And to say what was said about Dr. King, maybe 50 years from now, that movie will be brought up and they'll say, this is what these black people thought of Dr. King, and reverse the holiday. Now, what I'm looking at is not our conversation, because our conversation is around that word love. We love our brother, and even if we have some disappointment or some dissatisfaction, I was always hoping that what was said would be without any vitriol. Because vitriol poisons the communication. Nobody at this table spoke with vitriol, but spoke with passion. Now, I have spoken with passion on several occasions. And the next day, I wouldn't recognize my words. Because there are those outside of this table that will interpret or misinterpret what went on here today. Now, I'm going to say this to America. When my brother Jesse Jackson was running for president, a great controversy arose. When I stood up to defend him, I was called the new black Hitler. An atmosphere was being created by the media where my brother could have been assassinated because others feared his run for the presidency of the United States. My concern for us is this. President Obama is our brother. What can we expect from him? We have many black mayors, but the condition of black people in the cities has not changed. We've had black governors, but the condition of black people in those states where we have black governors has not appreciably changed. So having a black president, and I like the analogy of our brother Jackie Robinson, because he had to be of a certain mind to suffer what he suffered to open a door for others that came behind him. He suffered much and died too young because of the tremendous pressure that's on him. President Obama has aged during the campaign, even before becoming the president. You've seen his hair turn gray because he's dealing with things. Some of us may not appreciate what our brother is dealing with. I want to, if I may, just a few things, because I want to address the media, because there are writers who will interpret this meeting, and maybe when we read it in the New York Times that is here today, or the Washington Post, or the Chicago Tribune, or the New York Post, or papers that don't like Obama to begin with. Today I read just this morning that the brother-in-law of Netanyahu of Israel went on national radio to say that Obama was anti-Semitic. An anti-Semite is in the White House. Of course, Netanyahu backed away from his brother-in-law's statement, but the point is Obama is not loved in Israel because he had the chutzpah, I guess you could say. That's a Jewish term that meant testicular fortitude.
Minister Farrakhan, it could just mean nerve.
Yeah.
It could just mean nerve. You did not have to go there, for the record. Let's not genderize this conversation.
Well, I didn't mean it that way, but thank you. I'll accept that. He had the nerve.
Thank you.
Ovarian audacity.
I said let's not genderize the conversation.
Wait. This is wonderful. Believe me.
Everybody say in love.
I want to finish. All right. May I finish my point, though?
Yes, you may. Yes, you may.
When the 12 members of the Jewish organizations visited the Oval Office to press him about not pushing Israel for the settlements in the West Bank, and he had the nerve to push back and say, you got nothing under Bush, and he stood up. Well, he's suffering now. This attack on the president is real. I would not want them to think we are a part of their motivation and their attack on our brothers. Please hear me. When a Baptist preacher could stand up in his church and say that he's offering precatory prayers, I never heard the word before. So I had to look it up.
Right.
But it meant that he was praying that God would kill President Obama.
Right.
Now they have our brother as a socialist, and they've shown him now with Hitler's mustache. They are demonizing him.
Right.
And this is feeding that racist element in this country that would like to take him out. And I'm talking about assassination.
Right.